One more thing and done.
Sonicmusic! That's right, I have perfected and crafted the ultimate Sonic video. It is funny, it is interesting, and it will bring world peace and love.
Can I watch it?
Sure. Music! You listen to it, I listen to it, we all listen to it. And it just so happens that I have a heavy case of... So, obviously, I care about Sonic the Hedgehog music. Maybe a little bit too fucking much. You might think you know all of Sonic's musical discography from... to... But by the end of this video, you will know so much more about our favourite Blue Spiky Gumball. To think that some of the music that defined the series' musical direction, like the rock music of the Adventure series or the more modern EDM dance music of the current games, started with some of these tracks is super cool. So within this video, I will be covering these albums. But please, if I've left anything out and you have any suggestions, comment down below because I would love to make this a series. But with all of that yap out the way, this is obscure Sonic music you've never heard of. Come on! Let's start out with a smaller release, but then we will ramp it up towards the end. The year is 1997 and Sonic R had hit the market to... interesting results? Whilst the premise is fantastic, the game is all sorts of clunky, and it lacks a lot of content. I mean, the game could be beaten in an hour! But what this game isn't lacking is an incredibly funky soundtrack that honestly stands tall with the rest of the franchise. Richard Jaques and TJ Davis knocked it out the park with some of these tracks, spawning an absolute icon with Can You Feel the Sunshine? But, the track, or tracks that I want to focus on are Work It Out, but more so the obscure remix album that accompanied it. Here, take a listen. So, the track that you just listened to was one of 4 mixes off of this remix album made by Richard Jaques. How this album exists, we don't really know. There isn't an extensive history behind it, unlike a couple of the other albums on this list. Rather, it was just a simple collaboration between Segamusic Group and BPM King Street Sound, utilising Richard Jaques' original composition for the game. But who is DD Brave? Now, you may have noticed that the vocals sound different from the original song. Here's a quick comparison between the two. Well, simply put, DD Brave is the replacement vocalist for this track. Why TJ Davis isn't on it, we have no clue, but leave some theories down below. And also, the fact that it had a limited, non-commercially available pressing on 12-inch vinyl, it's likely that this remix album was to promote the game in clubs. Because we all knew how well the Sega Saturn sold. But speaking of clubs, this next track was made for them. Of course, I'm talking about Supersonic Dance Attack by Intergalactica Dance Club. Once again, here, take a listen. So, this 1992 single is a pretty standard Eurohouse track that interpolates a couple of the different melodies from Sonic the Hedgehog, most notably the main theme from the first game. Sprinkled within this track is a pretty menacing synthesized voice saying, "I killed Robotnik," which is, I killed Dr. Robotnik. but also a bunch of samples from Sonic the Hedgehog and, weirdly enough, Streets of Rage, including the jump sound effect, ring sound effect, destroy sound effect, and a variety of others. Now, this release is pretty interesting, as it not only released only in Germany, but also exclusively as a promotional single in both CD and vinyl formats, which I own. However, in terms of commercial releases, it is one of many within a compilation album called The Better One Wins, which has Sonic on the front cover, despite this song being the only one directly related to Sonic. And finally, we have Virtual Sonic. Wasn't Sonic always virtual? The year is 1996, and to coincide with the release of Sega Virtual Land, Sega requested the existence of the album Virtual Sonic. And although Sega Virtual Land is now defunct and permanently closed, man, some of these tracks go incredibly hard. Arranged and produced by Howard Drossin, who interestingly also did a lot of the Mega Drive tracks, this album contains a variety of original compositions and remixes, and they all sound pretty great. Here's a select few of my favourites. Here, take a listen. This album aims to sound like the world of Sonic, and it absolutely achieves that with flying colours. And there's a nice variety of sounds at play here too. At least to me, this album is the middle ground between the sounds of the Mega Drive era and, of course, the Adventure era, blending elements of rock, funk, and electronic seamlessly. As a result, it's a shame this album isn't more well known, because I truly do think this is a franchise staple, and it is one of the most important releases within Sonic's history. I'd especially like to take note of Metal Sonic, not the character, but the track, as it almost sounds like a forgotten Crush 40 song. The vocalist is incredibly reminiscent of Johnny Gioeli and might have even inspired him. I would love to hear Crush 40 pay homage to this track in a potential cover.
Holy shit, that was amazing! So, where are you releasing it?
Oh, on Vimeo for like 2 people.
What?
Please like and subscribe. Renovations are expensive. Bye for now.